Scene opens with the soft, dappled light of the afternoon jungle. The air hums with the sounds of insects and distant animal calls. Jane is sitting on a large, moss-covered fallen log that her sketchbook is propped on her knees, and she's humming a cheerful tune, focused on drawing a brightly colored bird perched on a nearby branch. She adds a final, delicate line to her sketch, a small smile on her face. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our story. When we last saw Jane, she had just begun to unravel the mysteries of this incredible jungle. She found a world teeming with life, but also one filled with questions. The biggest question of all was the wild man who seemed to appear and disappear like a phantom of the forest. Their encounters had been fleeting, a mix of curiosity and caution. But Jane, ever the intrepid explorer and artist, was determined. She felt a pull, a connection she couldn't explain, and she knew she had to understand the man who was as much a part of this jungle as the ancient trees themselves. She spent her days documenting the flora and fauna, her sketchbook filling with vibrant life. But always in the back of her mind, she was watching, waiting, and hoping for another chance to bridge the gap between their two worlds. Little did she know, her next lesson wouldn't be in botany or zoology, but in the universal language of the heart. Suddenly, the leaves on a thick branch directly above her rustle. A shadow detaches from the canopy and lands silently on the branch, as light as a falling leaf. It's Tarzan. He's crouched low, his powerful form a perfect silhouette against the light, his intense, curious eyes fixed solely on her. The bird she was drawing squawks and flutters away. Jane gasps, her hand flying to her chest, startled by the sudden presence. Her initial fear melts into relief as she recognizes him. She offers a small, slightly nervous smile. You again, you're not going to run off this time, are you? Tarzan doesn't respond with words. He remains perfectly still, a predator's poise softened by an almost childlike curiosity. He tilts his head, his gaze unwavering as he studies her. He isn't just looking at her, he's listening. He watches the way her lips form the words, the subtle shift in her expression, the gentle wave of her hand. To him, her voice is a new kind of birdsong, a melody he doesn't understand but is utterly captivated by. He's a student of the jungle, and she is his most fascinating subject yet. The silence stretches between them, not tense, but filled with unspoken questions. Jane realizes that fear won't build a bridge. She has to be the first one to lay a stone. Slowly, carefully, as if not to spook a rare animal, Jane opens her sketchbook. She flips through the pages filled with drawings of insects, flowers, and monkeys, landing on a detailed sketch of a powerful silverback gorilla. She holds it up for him to see, her movements deliberate and calm. She points to the drawing, then speaks the word clearly. Gorilla. Tarzan leans in from his branch, his eyes narrowing as he recognizes the familiar form. A flicker of understanding crosses his face. He lowers himself from the branch, landing on the ground with a soft thud. He points to the drawing, then touches his own chest. With a serious expression, he thumps his chest twice, a gentle but perfect imitation of a gorilla's display. Then his voice, a low and gravelly sound, forms the word he just heard, his first attempt at her language, gorilla. Jane's eyes widen, sparkling with pure delight. It worked. A laugh of joyous surprise escapes her. This is the breakthrough she was hoping for. Eagerly, she flips to another page, this one showing a magnificent sketch of Tantor, the elephant. She points to it, her voice filled with excitement. Elephant. Tarzan's face lights up completely. He knows this one well. A wide, boyish grin spreads across his face. He cups his hands around his mouth, takes a deep breath, and lets out a loud, booming trumpet sound, mimicking his elephant friend. The sound echoes through the clearing. From a nearby thicket of bamboo, a familiar, grumpy voice calls out, "Hey, I don't sound like that." A genuine, clear, ringing laugh bursts from Jane. It's a sound of pure, uninhibited joy. At the sound, Tarzan freezes. He has heard the calls of 1,000 birds, the chatter of monkeys, the roar of Sabor, but he has never heard anything like this. He looks at her, utterly mesmerized. He slowly reaches out, his fingers gently touching his own throat, feeling the vibrations of his own humming. Then, with a look of intense curiosity, he points to her throat, a silent question in his eyes. How did you make that beautiful sound? In that moment, the lesson is forgotten, replaced by a shared, simple fascination. The connection is fragile, a single thread woven in a vast, silent jungle. Jane knows she must nurture it. She looks around and spots a vibrant, hibiscus-like flower growing near the log. She plucks it gently and holds it out to him, her palm open in a gesture of peace and offering. Her voice is soft like a whisper. Flower. Tarzan takes the flower, his large, calloused fingers surprisingly gentle as he holds the delicate petals. He studies its intricate shape, its brilliant color, then lifts his eyes to study her face. He sees the same softness, the same vibrancy there. He brings the flower to his nose, inhaling its sweet scent. Then he tries the new word, his voice clumsy but earnest as he breaks it into syllables. F. Lower. Jane beams, her entire face alight with encouragement. That small word is a monumental victory. Seeing her smile, Tarzan feels a surge of inspiration. He wants to show her more. He wants to share his world with her, the world he knows not by name, but by heart. He points to the jungle that surrounds them, a sweeping gesture that encompasses everything. Then he begins to move. He's not just walking. He's performing a silent ballet of the forest. He mimics the graceful sway of vines in the wind, his arms long and fluid. He becomes a soaring bird, his body light and powerful. He crouches and leaps, embodying the swift, silent movements of the jungle's hunters and the playful antics of its monkeys. It's a dance of pure expression, a story told without a single word. Jane watches, spellbound. She understands. He is showing her the rhythm, the spirit, the soul of his home. Without taking her eyes off him, she begins to sketch, her charcoal flying across the page, not capturing a static image, but the very essence of his movement, the flowing lines, the dynamic shapes, the untamed energy. When he finally stills, their eyes meet across the clearing. A slow smile spreads across both their faces. They may not share a language, but in that shared moment of understanding, they have found something far deeper, a true connection. The sun begins its slow descent, painting the sky in fiery strokes of orange, pink, and gold. The jungle is bathed in a warm, ethereal glow. The air cools, and the sounds of the day give way to the symphony of the night. Jane slowly closes her sketchbook, holding it close to her chest as if protecting a precious treasure. She watches Tarzan, who is now sitting quietly beside her, both of them observing the twilight. She speaks softly, more to herself than to him, her voice filled with wonder. He's learning, and so am I. Tarzan hears the gentle tone of her voice and turns to look at her. He doesn't understand her words, but he understands the feeling behind them. He sees the warmth in her eyes, the gentle smile on her lips. He looks down at his own chest, then lifts his hand and touches the spot over his heart. Then slowly, reverently, he points to her chest, to the place where her heart beats. He doesn't know the word, but the gesture is universal, unmistakable. He is telling her that what he feels here, he feels for her, heart to heart. A profound silence settles between them, filled with a perfect, unspoken understanding. They spoke no common tongue, yet their hearts understood every word. The camera begins to pull back, showing the two of them, the wild man and the civilized woman, sitting side by side in perfect harmony. They are two small figures against the vast, majestic backdrop of the jungle, now glowing under the soft light of twilight. They are no longer from two separate worlds, but are now two souls sharing one beautiful silent moment. Fade out.